Number 13, Joey, or Joe, excuse me, Joe. I'm sorry, Joe. Joe says, hey, Pastor Mike, in your study of Bible translations, have you ever looked at the Geneva Bible that I believe the pilgrims used? What is its textual basis? Do you think Christians should read it? I don't, it's been a long time since I looked into the Geneva Bible. The King James had a couple issues, like that were, and just in a couple places were influenced even by the king and the Baptist leaning. So like John the Baptist is translated certain ways because of like that was a decision that someone made. So there's a couple issues like that are in the King James that the Geneva Bible, I think, meant to correct. And so I think one of them was the naming of John the Baptist, if I remember right. And you can see if I'm correct here. I don't consider it a test of my memory. It's just accuracy is important. You look up the Geneva Bible and the way it describes John. But there were other things too. So there was a couple issues related to baptism that I think the Geneva Bible seemed more accurate on. What else? Yeah, no, I don't really remember much else about it. Is it a translation I would recommend you use today? No. As a secondary or tertiary translation, sure. Yeah, I mean, that's always interesting to read other multiple translations. But I wouldn't recommend any primary translation when it was translated with 400-plus-year-old English. This is obviously a very hot button point of debate with people, but language changes over time. It changes rather significantly over time. Words actually change meaning. If you're going to read the King James or the Geneva Bible, you need to get a dictionary that has language from that time period so that you can continually look up these words, because in many cases, it doesn't mean what you think it means. Like it's some words like you just read and you go, I don't know what that means. That's not that bad. You'll look it up. But there are actually some words that have changed meanings, meaning it literally means something different to you than it meant to the person who wrote that. So for this reason, I struggle recommending some of the older translations as a primary text. I did once talk to a children's ministry, and they used King James Version in their entire church, right? And their children's ministry used it. And I just asked them, they had the children's ministry leader there visiting us at the school I was at. And I was like, how do you overcome the difficulty of children with the King James Version? And I'm just thinking very simply, kids are still learning language and they never hear language that way. And so it's just going to be more novel to them. And so I'm concerned they might not understand scripture as well. They'll understand much, but as well. I was wondering if he did anything to help the kids. I was curious, how does this play out? And he was like, oh, they understand it fine. There's no issues there. And I just thought, to be honest, I thought, oh, he's just going to pretend there's not a problem. We shouldn't do that. We should at least address things, consider them. Yeah. Anyway, those are just my thoughts. The Q&A, the nature of the Q&A, guys, every week is that you get my off-the-cuff thoughts. Hopefully, I'm giving you something that's, at least going to motivate you in your thinking about things, and hopefully are good answers and thoughtful and true answers, God willing, I hope. But there, give you something to think about. And for those who don't know, if you wait a couple hours after the stream, we'll put timestamps down below, and you can actually navigate to just the questions you're interested in. We just want this to serve you. It's not that I require you to watch long videos. I just want to create the resources that will bless you, hopefully. Although I would do make long videos.